say we went down maybe like 1,500 points on US30 on Friday. That was something. That was a crazy sell-off. A lot of people are still confused as to what happened because, as you know, we're in the middle of a government shutdown. You know, certain news events dropped and there was not any volatility. Just for us to get to Friday and have that massive sell-off, what actually happened? Before I get into exactly what happened, I want to take you guys to the beginning of the week and show you how the market was actually preparing itself for this move. All of the juicy information is going to come from that daily time frame. So let's take a look at, how the week had been going from the higher time frames perspective. Here's Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. What do you notice about these candles? Pay attention. Although price is bullish, clearly bullish, we have been continuing to break structures to the upside. What are we noticing about these candles? Number one, I mentioned this midweek. I like to give an analysis at the top of the week and midweek. You might want to subscribe if you want to stay connected with these analysis. I noticed that price was kind of moving sideways but downward, if that makes any sense. Take a look at these wicks. So even after we broke this structure, price had been closing those bodies lower and lower. And we can look at the top of these wicks and see the rejection happening. And then we get to Thursday where price, it just starts to sell down more than the candles, and it finally takes out all of the previous day's lows. So just like I do with my private community, I like to pay attention to what has happened at the previous week, how the week has ended, and where we stand, right? What we're anticipating, what we are expecting, right? So here's Friday. Friday starts some supply here, and then we have a little gap. That's how we end that week. And so Sunday opens, and then there's a continuation. We finally fill in that gap, but price comes back up to respect that supply zone. Now, this higher area of interest had been an area on my mind, and if I'm paying attention to this area, there's lots of other traders that's also possibly paying attention to this area as well. This was the first New York Open opportunity on Monday from this supply. Price retested the supply, and then we got that sell-off. Price now has a premium and a discount area based on this high and this low. What price does is it starts to play in between premium and discount. Price then comes back up on Tuesday. This is a New York Open opportunity yet again. I like to trade around the New York Open. I find that the moves are really clear, and I can go for my one opportunity and I can leave the rest of the day to other traders. These are like my best opportunity. These are my best moments. Now, everything is not going to always happen at 9:30, but around that New York Open time frame is when I like to, get in and look for my opportunity after the manipulation has happened. Price gives us this push up at 9:30 exactly, and that is called manipulation. It gets a bunch of traders who like to trade at the New York Open to want to buy, just for price to turn around and start to sell. Now, what price doesn't do here, if you were targeting this previous low, it doesn't go down far enough to take out that low. If you're in a sell, how do you know when to get out if your target was that low? Well, once price starts to break structure up, you guys can make a decision to exit. But once it comes back and it retests and it respects this area and there's no body closure of the candles beneath this low, this is your opportunity to get out. The market will always give you opportunities to exit when your trade is complete. You just have to be paying attention, and you can see breaks of structure on the smaller time frame for sure. Remember that premium and discount. We're still trading in between that premium and that discount. Here's discount. The opportunity can be made to premium. Price comes back to discount again. We're sweeping early buyers here. And then we come up and we respect that area, making it a supply zone. So this OB has now become a supply zone. What do you want to do in supply zones that's located in premium? You want to take selling opportunities. So once price comes back to this supply zone, and this is Wednesday, that New York Open time period. So once price comes back to this area, you would ideally want to target this low. Price comes down. It gives us a little retest back to this area here. It then breaks structure again downward. If it's not going to go down to the low, of course, you'd want to exit that trade. Price kind of moves sideways during Asia and London session. And then we get that 930. This is price pushing up just a little bit, getting everybody who wants to buy an opportunity to buy, just for price to come down and break structure and go into that an area of interest beneath these lows. So this is where we finally took out those lows that we failed to take out previously. And this is where I explained to you what happened, what caused the market to sell off on Friday. Understand where we are, understand the position of the market, so that when things happen, you're not surprised by them. Maybe you can drop it in the comments. What do you see here? What are you thinking here? After we break this structure, what are you anticipating next? So guys, looking at this chart, I'm anticipating price to retest this area, fill in the imbalance, respect this area here, and sell down out of this demand zone, this newly created demand zone. That's what I'm anticipating. I just have to wait for the right time, because if this was 930 and price comes down into here and then we close out, this is the end of the day, the market is closing at this time, I would love to see the market climb back up, give us a retest back into this area, and then sell off maybe around 930. Trump decided to announce that he was imposing 100% tariffs on China. It got the markets shaking. So let's take a look at how that played out. It's all about time, place, and a little bit of fundamentals, for price to get where it needs to go. So here's price moving Asia session and then London session. Remember, premium and discount. Whenever we have a last push up before price break structure and a last push down, we now have a new premium and discount area. So as I stated, guys, in discount, you can absolutely take buying opportunities up to premium. And in premium, we want to take selling opportunities. At 930, price gives us this last push up here. This is a really big institutional candle up into this area of interest. And lots of people are buying because we've witnessed this the entire week. And so we get this big bullish candle into this area of interest, this big bearish candle. That was the area of interest that I did leave for my community. And then we sell off 1,500 points down, barely making any room to, enter this market. And then that leaves us to where we are now. We opened with a gap, which means that we're anticipating price to come back down for this gap. And I am looking for price to make its way yet again back into premium. So I now have a premium and discounted area. Price is now in premium area. And I'm maybe looking for price to, let's see, possibly climb back into this area here. And this is, or near the area, this area or near it. And from there, I'm looking to continue to sell. And I would like to target this low. This is basically what I'm saying for the very next move. Today was some movement, but it's a US bank holiday, so we didn't get lots of movement. This is me just checking it out for now, wanting and anticipating a retest. But I'm gonna clear my charts and do a thorough top-down analysis. So you have the game plan. The only thing left to do is to click the link in the description, sign up for GatesFX, load up those accounts, and take the move and make some money. So guys, thank you for watching. And if you gained any value, please consider subscribing. I will be back on Thursday for an update.